Hi, welcome to Duran Music Studio, where I help bassoonists flourish. And as I'm working with some college students who are very talented, one of them in particular is an artist and was trained as a pianist. And so I wanted to title this video Enjoying the Range of Expression on the Bassoon. And I know you're very good with your senses and like dimensions and figuring out ways to manipulate materials. And this is a blessing, and this is something that makes us bassoonists different than like a MIDI recording or AI. Just the fact that we have God-given senses that we can use and explore. Now, the bassoon is not like the piano because we only have like 42 to 44 notes in our range, while the piano has 88. And we're so responsible for these notes in special different ways as we sing them out. We want the tone to be pure. So one way we're continually tuning our instruments, pianists, most of them don't tune their instruments. I mean, they don't tune it themselves. They hire a piano tuner to come over, and we have to adjust our own reeds and slightly adjust the voicing of our embouchure and our air just to get just the right sound out of the instrument. So if you're working on a warm-up, I would definitely recommend extending your endurance and tuning in octaves. And I'll show you a way you can do this with the Jean-Pierre 1 or with the Jean-Pierre exercise that actually has octaves in it. I believe it is number 9 or 11. Maybe it's 11. It is 11. Okay, 1 is very familiar to us now, but I'm going to play it and show you how on any given day you can't control everything. So your reed might not be to your liking, the weather might be messing something up. You should soak your reed for about 3 minutes in warm water. And here is Jean-Pierre number 1 using this tuner to build up some endurance. And then put it drone on. That's a D, but we're going to do C, and then we're going to go into the key of the piece you're working on, which is in G. Now I'm going to go ahead into the key that we're working on, G, which is over on the next page of the Jean-Pierre at the very bottom. And I'm going to switch this. You don't always have to have it exactly on the tonic. There, I switched it up to D. So that would be the dominant, the 5th note of the G scale. Okay, so I'm sure you get the idea. Musicians are always making things in time, and that timer just went off to say, hey, move on to the next topic. So one way you can enjoy the range of expression on bassoon is just to practice those long tones in conjunction with your Jean-Pierre warm-up. And then taking ownership of your etude that you have chosen, looking artistically at the range of expression. We've got a piano dolce marking at the beginning, but that doesn't mean anything if this particular day your reed is not working well. So you work with what you can in the range of expression. I noticed that sometimes there's inaccuracy of pitches in the second full measure. We're using the note F sharp. So that's going to make you feel not confident. A, if you don't memorize it, you can watch my other video about memorizing using the progress tracker. And B, if you don't practice it in enough of a variety of ways, so you're really taking ownership of your expression. So here's a couple ways you can practice remembering there's an F sharp there. And don't worry about it being so quiet and dolce, because sometimes your reed doesn't want to do it. Sometimes it does. That way it was very quiet, because all I did was imagine it in my head. All right, the second way will be louder. So try to imagine, what did I do that time, manipulating the materials to take a little ownership of them. Now I'm going to do something different. Now I'm going to do exactly what's on the page, pretty confidently at the pace I know my reed will respond somewhat. Okay, so that's a little magic you can add into your etude. And then there's a few measures you can look at to just make each of these notes blossom like a flower of the springtime. You've got, and I even marked in my music tiny little flowers penciled in, but you could listen to your recording and see exactly where all of them are. I've got in measure 12, there was an A that cracked. And what you do is you're slurring to it, you're going to flick with this note so you don't get that kind of garbagey sound in the... So that it would do that for me if I wasn't flicking it. Where are we in 13? It's a C to an A, a 6. We've been studying that interval. Okay, and I like how you're stretching out the G, E, C. That high G needs our favorite key. Okay, so that is the range of wonderful expression you can get into the Weissenborn. And to go on to the hymn arrangement, which is going to sound wonderful, I'm just going to teach you one new thing, assuming the dynamics are going to be better once you get the reed adjusted. There's something called a mordant in measure 61, where you play the note above it very quickly. You hear how quickly that goes by, and it's just like time, it goes by all so quickly. So I'm going to do long, short, short, long, short, short, long, 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 and the mordant before 61. Doesn't have to be too perfectly quickly, but I will give you the artistic discretion to decide, do you want to use the resonance key for that G or not? It could be used without it if you want to go really, really fast, or if you want to have it be slower like I did use it. So this is the two versions. That's no resonance key. This one has the resonance key. But since you're going to go to a G before it, maybe you should use the same G. And that's, again, all about matching these octaves. Here you've got a fifth outlined going from 61 to measure 64. There's a fifth. Okay, I'm using the resonance key on it. You will make your choice, and you just actively involve yourself into making this the most beautiful piece you can for the day, and it will get better each day. And just like the spring, things will be different each day. Okay, that's the end, wrapping up this lesson, and keep practicing.